What's up guys, Alex from Bass Bite Fishing here, and today we are going to do a little video on the best spring bass fishing baits. And this is going to be covering the three main parts of the bass fishing spring, which is the pre-spawn, the spawn, and the post-spawn. All those three are a great time to catch big bass, and it's probably the best time of year that you are going to have a chance at catching your personal best. So I'm going to talk about some of the baits that are going to help you do that. Off we have the pre-spawn. Now this is the time when the female bass come shallower as the water temperatures get into around the low, high 50s, kind of around there. And those female bass come up shallow, and what they're doing is they're feeding heavily so they have enough nutrients and stuff like that to produce their eggs, which then they can then hatch. So these bass are going to be targeting moving baits, and they're going to be eating really heavily in that shallow water. So this is when I like to throw my square bills, my crankbaits right here, my square bill crankbaits, and my jerk baits. It represents the bait fish very well, which the fish are feeding on, and you can also go to a jig presentation because a lot of bass do like to feed on crawfish around this time of year. What a lot of guys do, however, is they get a little crawfish colored crankbait. I don't have one with me at the moment, but red, orange, things like that, those colors work really well this time of year. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your bait to throw that day. Another bait that I've found works pretty well in the pre-spawn, and this is kind of an interesting bait, I use this for ponds normally in the pre-spawn, is a head-in torpedo right there. Now what the head-in torpedo does is it has a little propeller, makes noise as you bring it across the water, and what I like to do is I like to stop it and start it so those fish can really look at it and eat it, and I found it works really well. Moving on to the next stage of the spring, which is the spawn. This is a time that many anglers like to catch big bass, because those big bass, they're really shallow, you can see them, you get excited, and you start tossing everything in your box out at them. And don't think it's going to be the best day on the water, because those spawn bass can be pretty hard to catch sometimes, especially the big females. The males do most of the guarding at the nest, but the females kind of just sit there for the eggs. And the females are the bigger ones, and those are normally the ones that take a while to catch. So I'm going to show you guys three of my favorite spawn fishing baits, and they're all plastics. And these I have found to work very well on beds in the spawn. The first bait is a bombshell turtle. As you know, I am sponsored by them, but I'm going to tell you right here, this is probably one of the best bed baits that I've used. Don't get me wrong. When let me tell you a story. So I was down at my local river fishing for some bed bass. They weren't biting anything. I tossed this guy in here, bam, hit it, caught it. It's something unique, it's something the fish don't see very often, and baby turtles do go after bass eggs. Keep that in mind. So I definitely recommend you pick up at least one pack of bombshell turtles and try it out for yourself, because you'll be surprised with the outcome. The next bait I'm going to talk to you guys about is a bait that's very well known, and this is the Classic Zoom Lizard. Classic bed bait. Almost every bass angler will say they like it, because it's just a really good bait overall. This is the 6-inch, just Texas rig it up, throw it on down there, and you should be able to get that bedding bass. The last bait that I'm going to show you for the spawn is the Strike King Rage Tail. A lot of you guys know this bait too, the coffee scented bait, and this thing just makes bass mad and really gets their attention. So that's the spawn. The final stage of spring that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is the post spawn. Now this is when the females move off of the bed and go into the deeper water. The males stay shallow and guard the fry. Fry are baby bass that they're baby bass. They're about the size of a minnow, and the males will attack anything that gets near these fries. The males are very aggressive. They're not normally big fish, but it's a good way to catch, like, to have a little fun, catch a nice little bass. So I've got 4 good baits here that I recommend using during the post-spawn. Now keep in mind, normally these aggressive male bass will bite almost anything you throw near that fry, but these are some of my favorites. One of them being the fluke. This is a Zoom fluke. It's grown to become one of my favorite baits in my box. And what you do is you Texas rig it up, and it's a weedless jerkbait. Works perfectly, mimics the bluegill or any type of bait fish you have in that water, and those bass love it. The next bait I'm going to talk to you guys about is a hollow-bodied frog, and this is a booyah version. Hollow-bodied frogs, let's get it right. They work well post-spawn in the summer, and it's a good weedless topwater bait, which you can get a really good strike on. And this is you would throw this when you got lots of grass cover and things like that, lily pads, stuff that you couldn't throw the next 2 baits in. And these next 2 baits are going to be used for clear open water. One of them being a popper, which works really, really well. Love poppers. And a bait that I have yet to catch a fish on, got it this winter, and it's the Jackal Pompadour. Can't wait. I know a big one's gonna eat that. But this has kind of been my baits to use in the spring. 3 different sections. Hopefully you guys learned something out of this video, and stay tuned because I think a fishing video is dropping tomorrow. So definitely look out for that. And yeah, so I will see you next time on Bass Bites Fishing.